It's been absolutely beautiful football by your team in
So Baba did it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what you did.
well, Coach Finidi George, how are you feeling today?
I feel good. We are playing our team, so I feel good.
Hold on. What you did? Use your right hand. Sorry, you know that side. Use your left hand. You understand? So you use your right hand to talk to him.
Coach Finidi George is feeling so good, and so are we. The fans are in.
So we're ready for it. So
Was against El Kanemi, you won that one. Over there in Gombe as well, you've been season.
we will try and play our football. We'll try and get the maximum points.
Now audio videos
to be better than the first stanza. I think that is gone. So this is a new league.
Now
9
audio
matches. So we want to start on a good note.
Now audio
I
go
think,
know they will take separate them.
the boys are capable of doing that. Let's see what happens today.
Where audio
Are
take
you
time?
impressed or in a way intimidated by the unbeaten run of
Can you
the
imagine?
nations by
And
any way?
yet, all the two at the top.
No. I think they've done so well. They've done. We have to commend them. They've done so well.
The might have
more
But
questions.
I think we are also coming up. assurance that I've been having that
Why do you
committee
take
run.
after this
So we'll see how it goes, but I think my boys are prepared for it.
Preparation will work for you. Amen. I say, Coach Finidi. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you, sir.
Not saying some delay with it.
This other come back.
Didn't know what to do.
Okay, I didn't on it yet now. That's right. I didn't on it back. Got it up now. I didn't on it yet. Because the battery will die. That's why I never on that. But let me on it so you can talk. Let's talk. Let me on it now. Flo, can you hear me? Flo, you can hear me? Talk to me.
Okay, now the auxiliary mic now they pick.
Bellamy. Sam. Listen, Emeka is like he's talking, I can't hear him. Emeka, go to webcam my voice if you are talking so I can, I'm in a web practice. You are talking to me. I can't hear him. Okay, we are back, eh? Stomach number 2. 2. Do your life. Hey. The rain is too much. Everything down. All on one, guys. Stomach number 2. 2. Do your life. Stomach number 1. Somebody red. No red.
Well, pictures back. Apologies for the break in transmission. We're also battling with the elements, just as the players are on the pitch.
Okay, what happened there?
While we were away,
I can't tell you now. You say red. I took red now.
we're promoted by Enyimba Football Club.
Look at what you play back
One
now.
comes onto the course, which means it still stays
You show that one before you can go to our house.
mostly due to the astute nature of the defending by Bendel Insurance.
Okay, NTA don't join us again, eh? We're live.
Now not as neat and tidy as the people celebrants would have wanted to keep it just at the
Number 2.
base of the Bendel Insurance area. Oh, that's again with the clearance forward. Led by particularly delicate Sarengoy. That's a good link of play. Insurance now in full flow down the left hand side. That's a good looking cross against everyone heading towards the back post where all of the access covered.
It's not in cover.
Following Stomach number 6.
At the moment, the
Minute 5, sorry. On 5.
goalpost was
Right your line.
always shield that ball to make sure.
Stomach number 4.
You know, one of the downsides about the rain is that it helps. It throws your tactics out the window. Whenever it's really like this,
Go to the ball, eh?
anywhere in the world, you are fighting against the natural element. That's right there.
Stomach number 6.
And you can see that some of the players have been using it to capitalize on the opponent's weaknesses.
Number 1.
We see some very interesting tackles. The referee has also been smart advising that we can see that right there. The ball is extra heavy. The ball is heavier whenever you raise it. Because you're fighting against the surface, you're fighting against nature. And so in a way it just shows a bit of spanner in the box with you. And it dampens the entire atmosphere. Even from the hands of the fans, but not from the coaches.
What is the white? There's somebody 4. Or 4.
Instructions.
Thank you, folks. Camera is clean. The only thing that you can plan now is the pass it through, eh? On 1 of it. At least that camera is clear.
Up with him.
Number 2.
Of course, the intention was to knock the ball off the Enyimba defender into the corner kick, but
Number 1. Figure live.
ran by the
You don't connect them?
Yeah.
I need somebody to check.
to let it run to his
Not showing all this graphics again.
It's not showing the graphics. The graphics is out. The graphics is out.
Wait, you have the normal.
Okay, hold on.
They're searching across looking for another chest brilliantly.
Graphics is there.
Well, a tumble in the area,
The program out. Like,
in the premises where the referee could have a full view of it.
our program is here.
Definitely today.
It's definitely not scoring to be foul. You know what to do there.
Is it
It's playing to the advantage of the right there. You know. And the referee is smart, you know.
Okay, yeah, it's bad now.
Okay,
when the thunder strike, when we lost this, I thought I'd give you emergency, everything.
Go to that set.
That was when I left here.
No, there's audio now.
So it was
There's
an
audio there.
emergency.
Yeah. Eh?
So it's bad now. I don't know the delay now.
The refs never come on.
But I need somebody to check for your phone. I need somebody to check for your phone. I need somebody to
Let
check
me
for your
confirm from people that are watching from home. Or the YouTube, do you have the link? Send it to me. Let me open it.
That's a cross just off the wide receiver.
Send the link to me on WhatsApp.
It's within range to get the cross in the area.
You should watch all the one
Lets it fly.
About 3 come out.
Where you move funny?
Yes.
This move
That my red.
like
Low red.
But let us even
what's coming out.
send the link to me.
Only one angle.
Stand back about ball. It didn't work. I told you he was going to come back because he's that kind of player. When you try,
Hold on, never take the shot now. Take the shot.
Try and try again. And that right there was a short
Hold on. Stand back about ball.
But you make a, it's always
Ball
trying
for your line.
to trap that one down.
Stand back about 1.
Alpha.
Confirm if there's a
Has sight of goal. Looking for the chip.
There's a thunder strike.
Quite thankful for the choice selection.
massive thunder strike, massive one.
Whatsoever. It's not the kind of move that somebody else I know it's going to we have to find the empty of that.
Oh, I need to leave.
And you got quickly.
No, I'm hearing director.
Pass. But that mattered anyway. The referee had sounded his whistle. And here they come, the People's Elephants in cursing. You could see the intention to ding the cross into the area where Obiama was waiting. Now Obot again. Time it's cross comes short. Goes straight to Basugi once again, who claps it quite confidently. And taking his time to let his team restructure and settle before pushing the ball further up the pitch.
And all the way, about some 30 yards. And Enyimba can't try anything, but that was a short cross. And it was good goalkeeping at that time because the ball could be very, very delicate in positions like this.
Well, Jide, on many occasions we see the glamorous side of football and the lifestyle of football players, but this is as hard as it gets. Treacherous conditions to play the game.
Remember when we were growing up, and we used to play a particular kind of football called rainbow in the local palace, and that right there, this is it, where the ball is not very favorable at you.
Now it's 40 minutes on the clock. It's Enyimba nil, Bendel Insurance nil. 5 minutes to the 45 minutes, which of course is standard for a first half football game at the professional level.
Enyimba's been the better side. They looked the better side to score. They looked that they've been pressing and pushing the buttons and running the channels quite well, quite better as well than Insurance. I feel for a lot of the time, Imadi has been very, very stifled up there. Chances have come few and far between. Maybe things will change.
And Enyimba press on the advantage. That's Obioma. Surely now. Well, Obasege required a second bite at the cherry. And what has the referee decided here? John Noble is clutching his feet in celebratory fashion. Well, we wait to see confirmation as to whether or not the referee has pointed to the spot today. But from the conversations we are seeing on our screens, looks just like it.
And it's this man again, Abubakar, just trying to look for the perfect pass, and then Emeka, who had really had nothing to do all game, is about to bounce off the ball. That ball bounced right in front of the goalkeeper. It could be the wetness of the surface, it could be the slippery nature of the ball, but right there is a very, very interesting tackle right there by the defender, by Bendel Insurance, and the referee has made his right decision, and I think it was a very correct decision. Is looking at this opportunity as an opportunity to go ahead, and what a way, if he ends this way, if he gets a goal, if it's a penalty and it's converted, Honor, there will not be a better way to go into the halftime team talks than with 1 goal in the back for Enyimba.
Well, it's confirmation. It's a penalty awarded to Enyimba, and for his demonstrations as well. Number 36, Deputy Echeta, looks to have been booked by the man at the centre, whom we shall talk a little bit more about shortly. Enyimba with a chance to take the lead after what has so far been an enterprising display. And it's Obioma Jide with a chance to increase his tally at the very top of the top scorers chart.
It's interesting because I'm seeing Saki, just number 7 for Bendel Insurance. Pretty much is going to say some few words to the upright, the goalkeeper's best friend. I want to see what he said, and maybe it will have any effect in this particular penalty to be taken by Enyimba.
Well, a daunting task now awaits Amaso Basugi. Is up against the most efficient forward in Nigeria's Premier Division. It's Enyimba's number 9, Emeka Obioma, in with a chance to take his tally to 8. Despite the elements, he looks fully concentrated, well aware of the task ahead of him against a supreme goalkeeper, as far as the stats suggest. Referee gives his signal, and it's Obioma who steps up. And the shot to run! Was there ever any doubt that the top scorer of the division would tuck it away from 12 yards? Yes, he has, with perfection. Enyimba take the lead. They take the lead in a well-deserved fashion. Well, Bendel Insurance will be hard done by the decision to award a penalty, but from the looks of it, Jide, it was indeed a foul. A bit of fortune in terms of the defender sleeping, given how drenched the surface is. Indeed. But up steps Obioma, no mistakes whatsoever. None. Enyimba ahead.
Precision, power, determination, accuracy. Those are the ingredients you need for a good penalty to be taken, and Emeka really did that justice. The fans are in absolute rapturous feel, and why shouldn't they? Their team are 1 goal to the good against this very solid and very, very uptight Bendel Insurance team.
Absolutely. Well, it's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 0. And now we see how Bendel Insurance respond. And here's the goal scorer again. Emeka Obioma goes past his first smacker, and then the second. Tees it up for Waiwu, who takes the sting out of the upward trajectory of Enyimba's attack by going back. But here they come again, and it's a free kick from a similar position in which we've seen for much of the first half. Seems like a push, you have to say.
Exactly, pushed him, and then you can see that he's enjoying the ball. You know, some footballers thrive on confidence. They feed on confidence. When they get to touch the ball once or twice, they get that feeling of wanting to do more and do better, especially if they've been successful at the first time. And that's what Ebubaka has been. Been an absolute thorn in the flesh of Bendel Insurance. And he was the one whose turn led to the pass and the shot by Emeka that eventually led to the penalty. Absolutely crucial player for this team so far.
Well, haven't gone ahead, and Enyimba now look to double the advantage. It's an interesting looking ball. Waiwu was in the area where the round letter was destined, couldn't get onto it, of course. Osaronhoe, haven't seen much of him. You could see the width of the pass. Perhaps well calculated, but unable to find the forward player due to the puddle that is starting to appear on the pitch. Obioma again seems to have come alive the last couple of minutes. Enyimba relentless. Another missile fired into the area. One to be picked out. Affording Bendel Insurance with quite an easy clearance. Here they come again. That's a good ball! That was just inches over the crossbar. Basugi not happy with the chances being afforded the Enyimba players to shoot from range, as we're up to 2 minutes of added time.
And it's all Enyimba. In the last 10-15 minutes of this game, it's all been Enyimba. But this one knows how important it is but not this man as well. He's really not happy. He's got more clean sheet than anybody else in the league, and he doesn't want to exactly get scored or get more goals conceded in this particular game, and that's why he was backing out those instructions earlier.
Enyimba seemed quite determined to make 1 and 2 in terms of the lead on the scoreboard just before half-time. Minimum of 2 minutes added, of which earlier minutes has been played. Diggy head back as Bukar Kobundu is waiting to take the throw. It's a booking for Mondio Diggy as well for his remonstrations. He isn't happy about it, but the laws of the game are what they are. You have to keep it neat and tidy, even if in the technical area. Saranhoe finds a Kobundu. Now the striker seems to be coming back from an offside position, but the linesman has kept his flag down. Adekunle Adeleke with the clearance. Obioma is waiting. Well taken care of. Back to the only man out of the 11 on pink, Obasoge, and that's half-time. Huff and puff as they may in defense. Bendel Insurance unable to keep out Enyimba at the interval. The People's Elephants have braved the storm, figuratively speaking, and literally speaking as well, given the weather that we've had at the Enyimba International Stadium. It's Emeka Obioma to thank for the difference between the two sides as we come up to half-time. And Bendel Insurance regrouping the team talks for half-time, starting very early on for both sides. John Noble leading the conversations for Enyimba Football Club as the captain, no less. The Bendel Insurance, a show of unity, and you could tell from the looks on their faces that they are still determined to turn things around when the second 45 commences. It's the home team who are first to dash down the tunnel. You could see Pascal Eze, who is being ever so resolute in defense. Half-time, it's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 0. Able to keep it tidy. Enyimba. very warm welcome to you once again, this time to the second half of what has so far been a tough affair between Enyimba, who led by 1 goal, against Bendel Insurance. I said a warm welcome, but not that it's anything like warm on the pitch. As you could see, the downpour is still relentless. But Jide, it's the Elephants who have stumped themselves ahead.
Yep.
The onus is now on the Benin Arsenal to, in the first instance, gun themselves to parity and see if they can nip ahead.
Yes, they've got pellets or bullets in their guns, I'm sure. They've got cannonballs into their machines as well, and I think it's going to be a good second half. The first half was feisty. Tackles were flying in here and there. At some point, it was very controlled. But I think the better team won the first half. That same better team would want to continue same as they were in the first half, and I think it was a brilliant game to see. This man, Emeka Opioma, was absolutely beautiful, especially with the penalty he scored. But Bendel Insurance they have answers in them. They have solutions to some of their problems. They've stuck to this task quite well. The fight has been good. They've been attacking space very, very well, but unfortunately they've not been creating enough, and I'm sure when they get the coach would have answered to all of that.
Oh, the centre referee Fawole Olawale sounds his whistle, and play has commenced once again with Enyimba leading Bendel Insurance 1-0. It's a very interesting day in the life of the centre referee Fawole Olawale, indeed, from Kaduna State. So what a man he is, really, Jide. Exactly 1 year ago, he lost his brother, Fawole Abiola, and is having to set emotions aside to handle a fixture of this magnitude in an utmostly professional manner. And oftentimes referees go down as unsung heroes, but we have to talk about him and the kind of courage he has had to summon to go through this.
Celebrate, because sometimes referees get bashed for their results and get bashed for some of their decisions and all, but not today. This man right here should be celebrated. What a mentally strong human being. Well done, Fawole. Well
Absolutely.
done.
And as is customary with football at this level, sides have been changed. Enyimba still conspicuous in blue, and now defending on the left and attacking towards the right. Bendel Insurance do the direct opposite, defensively positioned east of our screens, and offensively they move towards the west, where Enyimba are camped. Ekunle Adeleke with a vicious clearance, which hasn't gone too far, to be honest. It's a throwing. Just in and around their own half of the pitch to the right of their defensive positions, where Pascalese has nodded away the clearance. That's a good cross. It's with by Adeleke. Bendel Insurance looking to start proceedings as sprightly as they possibly can. I'll tell you, that shot looked better than it actually ended up being.
He came on, Yemeni came on in the first half. Vincent, he came on in the first half, and he's been doing quite okay. You know, but one of the interesting things is the Bendel Insurance barely made any form of threat at the Enyimba goal. This man, I was in a holiday, you know, I've suffered from regular picks here and there. And you can see right now that he shot the ball and he has moved way beyond the first half, the center half. Earlier, due to the raining issue that happened earlier in the day, we saw it.
Well, Emmanuel Sarenhoe, a bit of a delay with his shot. In the end, it did catch John Noble off guard. And he was a little bit jittery as the ball came his way. Jide.
Yeah, I mean, that right there could have been, I think it came off an Enyimba player, possibly, I mean, maybe because he was trying to get the ball out of Imadi, but good goalkeeping right there for John Noble. I was just saying and commenting it that right now he's got his shooting strike back, shooting power back, because earlier in the first half, to get that ball to the center half lane was a big problem. And the weather is right now calmed down and things a little bit sober.
Oh,
that right there is a foul. 50-50 ball that they would like to say, but no. One person came out a little bit more injured than the other.
Deputy
Cheta.
Cheta.
I like his name.
Indeed, I do actually. And he was about to say deputizes well in midfield, but he's holding down his own as the main man. And there is a free kick again for the Benin Arsenal. And it's Divine Wachiku who is clutching his ankle, reaching in pain. But it's an interesting position where John Noble's goal is quite visible and within range.
Indeed, and Divine Wachiku, you spoke about the main man earlier, he's been the main man for this team, but he got him back in the field. But he's yet to exert himself on this game due to that towering man for Enyimba. You know, it's been absolutely amazing. I'm talking about Chibike. Chibike has made it very difficult for Wachiku to play his game, and he's been shining on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders, rather.
Well, it's a great save from John Noble. Not into it in the end. Adeo Serenho on our pictures there. The man the Benin Arsenal will be looking to offer them an inroad back to parity. Second top scorer in the division. Supreme poacher, Imade Osarenhoe. His predatory instincts.
Someday, maybe, you know, as big as Julius Agawa, it's going to be a tough call, but he's on the right track. I like him. I think he's a brilliant footballer, and I think he's powerful. And above all, he understands where and knows where the goalpost is.
Youngly with a great balance. Adeo Serenhoe, he will be interested in the cross, which I thought was going to come in for Bendel Insurance from the right, but wasn't to be. That's a poor link up from Divine Machuku. Pasuge has the calmness to guide the ball straight into Julius Emeluju.
It's 5-6 minutes into the second half, and Bendel Insurance are already coming out. They're coming out of their shell. They know now that it's important for them to be the team that gets the second goal in this game, because the second goal in this game is a crucial one. Bendel equalizes, then we have a game on our hands. But if Enyimba scores, which Finidi George would want, it's game, set, and match. But that's one of the banes of Enyimba so far at the beginning of this season. Whenever they get the first goal in the game, they tend to just relax and allow the other team to get into the game. That's what you don't want to do. A game of this magnitude, you want to go out there and finish it off as fast as possible.
Well, Bendel Insurance are clearly asserting themselves a little bit more than they did in the first. But not enjoying the kind of dominance they had in the first 45. And speaking of which, here they come again. Osarenhoe was looking to race onto the end of it. It's well cleared by Dekule Adeleke, who's making his very first start of the season, being out of selection due to injury and illness. Now he can play. Another player who is a full-fledged international was selected for the Super Eagles when Gernot Rohr was in charge for the friendly against Mexico in the United States.
Indeed, he's a top player and is very important to the team. Adeleke and John Noble, that is. I think for Enyimba, one of the better players this season is this man on this ball, Abubakar. It's also Pascal Eze. You know, I watched Pascal Eze play for Atlant, the Nazi Millionaires. And it was solid. He was one of those players that, although Atlant were always going to be in trouble, the overall issues off the ball, things that they've been having going on. But if I thought there was going to be a team and a player that was going to pick up his career from another team, it's going to be Pascal Eze. He's intelligent, but he can read quite well, and above all, he's like a natural born leader.
Ambrose, the long ball forward. Could a chance offer itself up now for Bendel Insurance. John Noble palms it away. Pascal Eze with the follow-up clearance. Encouragement for the men in yellow, so much so that they come again. And it's deflected onto the part of the fullback whose cross is too tame to worry John Noble, who firmly gets the ball in his clasp.
And you know, I hate to say this, that right there was a chance that could have probably just been another goal, but good goalkeeping by Noble. That's the one before this one. But Enyimba now slowly allowing Bendel Insurance inroad back into the game, and that's what they don't want to do. that definitely is what they don't want to do because of the kind of the form of this Bendel Insurance side. They're in good form, and they've been winning games and drawing games. They just drawn 2 games, and that's the kind of team you do not want to get back into the game at a level like this.
Now 55 minutes played. It's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 0. Courtesy of penalty tucked away by Emeka Obioma, who took his tally then to 8 goals this season in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Enyimba with a free kick in a decent position, forcing Amasa Basagi to direct his wall and position his players in such a way that they will meet it in the first instance. Enyimba looking for the second, which would pretty much give some insurance against insurance. It's going to be an outswinger from Moobot, who has a decent left foot. Can ping the ball just as he has. Now some scramble in the area. Referee grants some reprieve to Bendel Insurance. So Jay, the number 2, brought down illegally while trying to keep things tight at the back for the Benin Arsenal.
I expect a little bit more from him, but I expected the ball to go a little bit higher. Utilize the height advantage that you've got in there by Pascal Eze, by Emeka Obiora. Some big men right there throwing themselves into the mix, but he chose to go low, and that didn't come out well.
They wouldn't have a chance to speed away. So brought down, of course, a Moobot, who we were just talking about. The Enyimba fans keep drumming away. Divine Wachiku unable to get to it. Now Yakubu finding John Noble. Noble long and forward. Met with by Sunday Anyanwu. Now Divine Wachiku to Emeka Kobundu. And Wachiku settles it for a central midfield partner. Attempt to find Osarenhoe. Is successful chiefly because the gangly centre forward is able to improvise and keep it in play. But up against Pascal Eze, Sarenhoe wins a throwing.
Nice. And I see Imadi, and I see a very strong, very intelligent striker, but he doesn't get enough praise for the level of link-up he does for the team. He drops back, can get the ball, can play with the ball. He's intelligent, and he can actually pick out a pass even in his own right.
Enyimba are off looking to break away on a counter-attack. Goes back to Samuel Kalu. Samuel Kalu elects to pick out Adekunle. But Enyimba find the forward gears again. Healed up, neat and tidy. Obot with the cross goes past Obioma and headed away by Akobundu. Lets it rip. It's a good effort, at least in terms of the intentions, not the execution from Bilal Yusuf. Got a little bit underneath the ball. The sky high, wide and over.
It's very interesting to see the change of tide, because in the first half, before he considered the goal, Amas Chijoke was keen on keeping the ball, treating it like a friend and slowing things down. And now that his team are currently going looking for one goal, it's all urgency. And that right there just tells you that they know they've been unbeaten from the get-goal of this particular game. That right there was a tackle on Chibuike, who I think needs to do more in this second half. I refuse to believe that he's a first half performer, but he needs to do more. He needs to control and seize the leadership of this particular midfield back from Divine Wachiku, who was abysmal in the first half by his standards.
Oh, the tide seems to have turned in midfield, but here is Osarenhoe. Can he get to it? Fits John Noble to it. Oh, nothing of further fruition came of that for Bendel Insurance. Now here is Waiwo. Now steps into a puddle on the pitch, which of course affected his trajectory. And with a slice of fortune, Bendel Insurance win possession once again.
John Noble should be doing better in that particular situation. If you're not sure, don't step out. Only for the wet-free surface, the very wet surface, coming to the rescue.
Here they come again. Sarenhoe 1v1 with Pascalese. Samuel Kalu intercepted before Pascalese cleared it forward. Affinity George would be a tad bit worried, I suppose. The initiative is being seized by the visitors. Looking far more enterprising than they did for most parts of the first half.
It's over a quarter of a minute we've spent in this particular second half, and we've seen more Bendel insurance. It's quite sad, you know, that Enyimba are looking to keep what they've killed, and I think it's very risky play. I think it's too early. I think it's important that they push up and they try to seize this game while they can. Momentum so far has been with Bendel Insurance. They've created better chances. It's been an improved second half performance so far on their path. And this man has been right in the center of it.
On an hour of football played. Well, it's Bendel Insurance who seem to have found a remedy to the threats being posed by Enyimba as far as much of the first 45 was concerned. The George would be tinkering on how to solve the immediate problem of the growing confidence of Bendel Insurance, who, if it ends this way, will suffer the first loss of the campaign. John Noble asking for the 4 players to spread, make the pitch wider. Brings it under control. He notched off the ball. Referee most certainly thinks yes. It's a foul on Julius Emelogu. Tumbled under pressure. Insurance looking to invent. Free kick is played short. And Cooper doing everything he can to put a halt to the ascendancy. Now here's the goal scorer, Emeka Obioma, looking to spit away. Goes past too successfully, and not successfully past the third man in Sunday Anyanwu, the number 14 for Bendel Insurance.
He left more than himself in that particular challenge, and that's why he's yellow carded. You know, good move by Emeka, showing another side of his game. But he just left that leg right in there. He could have easily moved the leg, but another intention, and that's why the ref is explaining, taking his time to explain to him. Yellow card for Emeka Obioma. Well deserved too, another good call by the referee.
Sure, Emeka Obioma wouldn't agree with you that was a good call.
No player ever agrees with being yellow carded. He was trying to even plead his case at that time, but we all saw it. He left his leg in that particular challenge, and he could have done better.
Is there a case for a first-time offender in terms of pleading for the ref not to issue the card?
Sometimes I think it's all about, and yes, that's another issue of the wet surface that we mentioned. You know, regularly, if all things were equal, if it was a very regular pitch surface, a referee was trying to reckon what to do at this particular time. You know, but yes, just going back to, just seeing that particular tackle, you can see he just went in there, just lost his footing just a little bit, and our referee has a big decision. It's a good thing no player was injured. They're back to their pitch.
Samuel Kalu in a collision with Eka Kobundu.
It's another card. That's 2 yellow cards in less 1 minute. Enyimba really now. Monday Dige, knowing how smart some of his players are, rather, it is important that he would definitely use that opportunity to just get into the league.
Ivan Watriku with the delivery. It's Emmanuel Sarenhoe stuck in between John Noble and the receding Enyimba defenders. John Noble seems to have come out worse. Well, conversations will be had, that's for sure. Emmanuel Sarenhoe on his knees and back up, clutching his right rib cage. John Noble still down on the turf. They'll surely be needing some medical attention. Had to be brave to get stuck into that one. as the free kick came in, Jide.
Yes, he came in, you could see he was, I mean, Imade was in his right senses to go for that one. He's a number 9. But the goalkeeper had his eye on the ball and he just clattered into him just a little bit. And Nobu didn't even get the ball, you know. Imade got to that ball first, but obviously Nobu had his eyes on that ball. And that right there, he came and hit Imade. But unfortunately, sometimes when the elephants collide with a gunner, you know, most likely an Arsenal, Bendel Arsenal, like they like to call themselves, there's always going to be a challenge, and it'll be nice to see John Noble come up back into this particular pitch. I did mention earlier that for Finidi George, unlike Monday Odige, the coach for Bendel Insurance, rather, you can see that particular Benin City proud historic logo, that Bendel Insurance Football Supporters Club. Finidi George as his goalkeeping units from the get-go this season. We've seen Olorunfemi Femi, I beg your pardon, you know, has been in the stakes, so has John Obo. But it's a good thing that John Obo is back on his pitch. And the supporters club are actually having a good time on it.
Absolutely, yeah, they are. Have a lot to be proud of. You know, the Bendel Insurance supporters, quite remarkable what they've been doing so far this season. Created back in 1972, two-time winners they are in 1973 and 79. As our top flight is concerned in the nation. Had 3 FA Cups, and you find a side fairly illustrious. It's Al Yakubu who effects the throwing. And was that a pullback? Yes, indeed. Referee has a good view of it. Adamu Abubakar brought down.
It's been a big problem. He just wants to get into that space, just want to use every tiny space, and sometimes he gets that particular challenges on him and he wins the foul for the team. Very crucial to this particular set of Abubakar. It's been a thorn, maybe the man of the match so far.
The referee with the spray indicating the bounds, which should not be exceeded. Advanced from as Bendel Insurance set up a 2-man wall. Free kick imminent. Enyimba looking for inroads once again. Had beating the difficult Tabasoge before. Will they do it again? It's headed away! And the follow-up is from Cooper, who lashed at it high, wide and over, but well, in terms of venom, he had everything, but
not the direction.
Yeah,
I agree, not the direction, not the accuracy, but it was a very good shot, but just was always rising. I mean, techniques from this angle is very difficult to pull off. You got to be training for a long time for it, as we see some particular changes happening for him.
The top scorer for the MPFL in the season gone by, Chijioke Akuneto, is stripped and ready to make his debut for the People's Elephants, as is Philip Ozo. 19 goals he has scored alongside Nyimawagwa, and of course Ishak Rafiu Kayode for Rivers United last season on his way to becoming champion. And in he comes. Once upon a time, easy to identify with his dreadlocks, now looking fresh, I have to say, with the trim, for the want of a better alternative at this time. But straight into some defensive maneuver they have to get into, because Bendel Insurance were speeding away on a counter-attack before they were halted illegally, affording them a free kick.
Indeed, I like the substitution made by Finidi George. 2 very enterprising, very intelligent players, and above all, high-level talent in terms of Akuneto and Philip Ozo. And that just tells you, it's testament to the quality that this Enyimba team has in their arsenal. They're absolutely special team. They've got some great players in their ranks. For Akuneto to be on the bench, that just tells you how big the squad depth of the Enyimba team, and definitely want to make his mark in this game.
In comes the free kick. It's looking right. Well taken care of by Pascal Eze once again. The People's Elephants storming forward. Now the Benin Arsenal recover in great number. to clog the spaces. Akuneto wouldn't get a decent first touch. Since his introduction, it's out of play for an insurance throwing.
Yeah, but you do know that for a fact, and everybody knows, if I thought there's anything Akuneto is good at, is good at coming back. He doesn't relent, he doesn't stop, he keeps coming back, he's relentless. When he runs at you, you know you're in big trouble every time.
Well, what looked like a simple slide rule pass, not well effective, much to the dismay of the teaming supporters of Enyimba Football Club. Now all by himself, taking them on through the midfield. And now it's John Noble who would sweep to come to the rescue of Pascal Eze, who had some trouble to cope with Ismail Sariki, looking to get ahead of him.
You see what I say about Pascal Eze, his leadership and his ability to read the game, even as Cooper just gave him the ball. And Pascal Eze back to the rescue. The game has resumed almost, you know. The thing about Pascal Eze is his intelligence for honor. He's been able to read that play, because if he wasn't running on top of his game, rather, Serki had that opportunity to just go in and it would be through on goal. It's John Noble.
Akuneto, foul on the latest acquisition, number 11. Straight to the flanks, where he, on account of last season, of course, is able to do a lot of damage. Once upon a time in the books of MFM Football Club as well.
So much should be expected from him.
Here he is, nimbling his way through a sea of yellow shirts. Now Philip Ozo, a substitute. Now miscommunication, knocks the ball out of touch. Bendel Insurance with the throwing as they are starting to pull forward. Divine Wachiku looks to be an option for the short throw.
You know, if this game ends this way, Honor, and Enyimba gets to win this game, if I thought there's a man that didn't live up to his expectation, Divine Wachiku. I'm a big fan of the player. I think I like Nembu-sized players that are also quite intelligent. Enyimba also have a certain Akoni Elijah in their own mix as well. No, but not Divine. Divine is intelligent. He brings some little bit of extra. We've not seen that extra yet.
And indeed, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Divine Wachiku, not easy to take on Cooper, as well as Samuel Kalu. And they now substituted Chiweze Maiwu. It will now have to do with Philip Ozo, of course, who has the ball. Ozo knocks it back to Pascal Eze with a similar flowing hair. Long ball forward from Eze, headed back by Akobundu. Cooper looking for Ozo. Cooper would hit the throwing to the Benin Arsenal. Cooper, Kosvikas, there's blonde hair, holding Julius. Chance to keep things sticking. Possession seized. And here he is. Emeka Obioma not able to get past beyond Sunday Anyanwu, the number 14. And they have a chance to build up once again, this time much closer to the enemy's territory, figuratively speaking, of course. Bilal. Another throwing. Now would make it again, which he has. Philip Ozo, that's a depth touch to go past his marker. Has it been clipped? Referee thinks otherwise. Here is Divine Wachiku looking to quickly set his teammates on their way. Another heavy touch, pretty much characterizing how it's been for him in midfield. Not too shabby, but not as good as we know he can be.
Not by standard, not by any standard. Divine Wachiku he's been second place in this particular fixture. I expected a little bit more, really, because it's a big game and you do not want to hide, but he hasn't eaten like that, neither has he shown like a million stars that we know him to be.
Well, Cooper gives it away. Bendel Insurance speeding forward with a chance of for itself, but Pascal Eze knocked it away. Clearance met with again by a persistent attack from Bendel Insurance. Now Abubakar Pascalese, very much aware of his surroundings. Long ball forward, Chijioke Akuneto giving the chase. The substitute is within sight of goal. It's up against Akobundu, who does magnificently well with the recovery. Alobot, Cooper is an option just to his right. Now Philip Ozo. Now Bilal Yakubu. Tiptoeing forward. Now Abubakar back to Bilal Yakubu. Ozo, as enterprising as he has been since his substitution into the game. Not half-word to Emeka Obioma. Cooper. Al Yakubu. Is it too heavy? Yes, it is. Confirmation. The score lines, Enyimba still lead Bendel Insurance by 1-0. It's been a tight affair so far, separated only just by a goal scored by Emeka Obioma from Torpiat in the first half. Now their substitutions being raided. Looks like Austin Ogunye is ready to join the fray. Yes, indeed, the tricky customer down the wings has been sent in by Monde Odigi, as time is ebbing away for Bendel Insurance to find the parity that they seek.
It's business end now, Honor. It gets tighter and tougher at this time. They know it's last chance saloon in a way. 15 minutes to the end of the game, and you're looking forward to getting a chance. And they need to do more to bring the likes of Imade. This is the time for Divine to step up to the plate and do his best to just get those very juicy opportunities, you know, which could lead to a goal for his team, Bendel Insurance.
Imade with a brilliant knockback. Bendel Insurance pouring forward. Akuneto. Down to Philip Ozo. Emeka Obioma a little bit lethargic with the application while receiving the pass.
He needs to be careful now. He's on a yellow card. He needs to remember that. He needs to talk less. He needs to do less in terms of tackle as well. But most importantly, his team needs to keep what they've killed or get another goal, because the next goal in this game, like I said earlier, is absolutely crucial.
Cooper makes it quite well. Great control. Looking to weave his way through. The tussle for the ball ends in Bendel Insurance throwing. Not what he wanted, Sadiq Abubakar, and from the looks on his face, you could tell he's upset with the outcome. And Noble to the rescue. Well, Jide, in Austin Ogunye, Bendel Insurance have a player who can do a lot of damage from the wings. Scored the third of 3 goals for Insurance, and the resounding win versus Remo Stars on match day 4. Quite skillful.
Indeed, and you need all those skills in his repertoire to bring it to the bear today, especially in the next 12 minutes of this game. He needs to be on the ball more. He needs to feel the tempo of the game, dictate the rhythm, especially from the wings. It's absolutely important that he get the service to Sadki, get the service as well to Imade, because it looks and feel that Imade has really been starved opportunities in this game, unlike the other games where the games really open up. Enyimba has really walked the space.
And speaking of the game opening up, Bendel Insurance in within a shout. It's deflected right into the court of Abubakar. Now Pascalese, guilty of holding on to the ball longer than he should have in his own area. Bendel Insurance pushing forward still, and it's an interesting free kick just at the edge of the box for the People's Elephants. From the looks of it, it's number 14, Sunday Anyanwu, who's been knocked down in a very enterprising position. Oh, there the free kick did coming. Chance opening up for the winger down the left-hand flank, Pascalese. What was he thinking, hanging onto the ball in such a dangerous position as the tip of his own area.
I think in a way it was just brilliant play by Ebuka. He sold it to the referee. The referee took it that particular. I'm not sure if that actually was a foul, you know, because I think he overran the ball and he just made a little bit of a contact. It was intelligent play and a very, very delicate position for Enyimba, for Bendel Insurance, for Enyimba to defend.
It's a 5-man wall with another additional player. Down in case Imade chooses to go low! What a hit! What a fabulous goal from Imade Osarenhoe! Well, they call him the Black Bullet, and that was rifled in like a bullet past John Noble. They have been looking for parity all along, and they have found it, and it's the very first time this season that Enyimba Football Club have conceded right here at the Enyimba International Stadium. It had to be Imade Osarenhoe, and he has done it just like we knew he had the capability to do.
It was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. Anytime they get a chance and it's clear cut, this man, Imade, would definitely do. Look at it. They don't call him Black Bullet for nothing. Absolute ripper. He ripped one off, what a shot, and that was poor defending by Enyimba. It's the basic. The wall has to stick together. The wall has to jump together. It is simple defensive rule. And you can see John Noble, he knows more. But unfortunately, Enyimba had this game. And like I said, and I keep saying, one of the banes of Enyimba so far in the games that they've dropped points, whenever they score first, they come back in the second half and they are all comfortable. And right there was a good quality goal.
Well, Enyimba made to rue the concession of that free kick in a very dangerous area. It's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 1, with Enyimba knocking on the door still. Pascal Eze, the catalyst for the concession of that free kick. Alameka Obioma was looking very much interested, but didn't check his run, shifting into an offside position. When two giants meet, this is the kind of game you respect. After 82 minutes, it's level. We're back to how we started today.
And now, Amos Obasoge is doing his best to just take his time, you know, as usual. But Benin Insurance will know they can win this game now, and you can see that they are buoyed by that particular opportunity converted by the Black Bullet. I think that right there for me is one of the best set pieces we've seen. It was nothing pretty. It was just sheer power put behind the ball. He hit the ball so much, so well, that the wall caved in.
Substitutions for the People's Elephants. Moses Omodumaker is off. Adiere Rugo is introduced. Enyimba throwing their last piece of the dice into the game in search of a winner. Bendel Insurance would protect their unbeaten run so far after 10 games if it ends this way. But here is Chijoka Kuneto looking for Obioma is well defended. Ball is out of touch. Imade Osarenhoe couldn't get onto the end of it before. Throwing for the People's Elephants. Surely he is a rising star, Imade. What a goal that was. Put his laces through the ball. John Noble didn't see it before he went past him. That rippled, much to the delight of Monde Odigi.
The wall caved in, and that's why he was absolutely livid with his wall. He caved in. Yes, that's why you're a wall. You're supposed to obstruct the ball from getting through you. The ball could go over you, which is fine. That's, you're not jumping enough. When it goes through you, it's at the very, very annoyance of every goalkeeper in the world. If you see that goal again, you would get to see that it's absolutely, it's a disgraceful defending. Those defenders should be ashamed of themselves because they aired their goalkeeper at that time when he needed them. And that right there is a challenge on Imo Obot, who would not stay down if he's not really, really true. You can see just a little bit of an elbow right there.
Oh, clearly he has every justification to go down, an elbow to his cheek. Austin Ogunye, the substitute. Oh, well, attack was launched a little bit off our picture, knocked away for an Enyimba corner kick as the bench looks on pensive.
Yeah.
The People's Elephants surely feel that they ought to win this, and they have been throwing everything forward. Here is Eze, the substitute. Going to be an outswinger. Obioma is waiting for it. Could he get his 9th of the season? And it comes! It's headed wide from close range. Well, how close could you get to nipping yourself once more ahead, if not for this, Jide?
Brilliant cross by Eze. They were queuing up for that, but unfortunately they just couldn't bring it down early. They couldn't bring it out. That's a good chance. We had Cooper in there, we had Chibike there. They had a lot of players in there just trying to get a particular point, including Adeleke. But he just couldn't do well to bring it down early enough.
Now for Amasa Basagain, will stay surely. It's number of clean sheets he had coming into this one. His net has been breached, something a lot of strikers have found difficult. It's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 1, as we're up to 86 minutes. Ismail Sariki down on the turf. Hasn't found his scoring boots like his partner in crime, figuratively speaking, of course, Emmanuel Sarenhoe has been able to do in this game.
They've done great things together. They're a good duo. They understand each other, they understand their movement. They're almost telepathic on the pitch. They have this level of understanding and energy that it's very, very rare to see. We can't say the same for Imobot and Akuneto, so far, right now, but this man has made a lot of missed passes since coming on Pascal also.
Pascal also with a loose pass. Nearly capitalized on by Bendel Insurance, who sent Emmanuel Sarenhoe on his way. Enyimba, by the way, now looking for a reply. Akuneto couldn't keep it in play. Cooper out wide now to Bilal. So cleared away by Anyanwu. Covered by Bilal. That's a better pass from Philip Ozo, even if the fans were displeased with the trajectory. Thought he would have selected to push Enyimba forward. But here is Obioma with the cross into the area. It's cleared away. Well, Akuneto is retrieving, and he lets it fly. It's repelled once again, this time I think by Soje. Akuneto. Ogunye is pushing back to help his defensive players. And it comes, the cross that is. Cooper. Now Bilal. Now Enyimba with an opportunity. Hasn't struck the arm. Well, the referee thinks he hasn't. Finida George is livid, as are the fans of the People's Elephants. And by the way, it's the number 14, perhaps indicating he hasn't struck his arms in Sunday, Anyanwu. Well, today you've had a look. What's your assessment of this situation that have sent the Enyimba fans and has made them livid?
I mean, I commended the referee earlier, referee Fawole, for doing a great job, but that's a penalty all day, every day. That's a penalty. And for the first time in this game, the referee got that decision absolutely wrong. I mean, with the way he's in his hands, and I like the fact that the Enyimba players have continued to play acting like nothing happened. But if this game ends this way, that issue will be revisited, and it would be maybe the most important part of the game.
Now, danger for the People's Elephant, Emmanuel Sarenhoe. Well, Adeleke cut across him to keep the peace. Well, sometimes you need a slice of fortune, and it'll be to finish as high up as possible in the league. Perhaps that's the case for Bendel Insurance. Anyanwu escaping after the ball clearly looked to have struck his arm. And here he is, up against Obioma, sending it out of touch. Enyimba regroup via the throwing. Benin George clearly still remonstrating, displaying his disapproval.
Indeed, rightfully so. Referee got that one wrong. That's a penalty all day, every day. You know, but the game continues. That's one of the beauty of the game of football, right? Sometimes all decisions doesn't go your way. Some don't go your way, some does. But at the bottom of everything, and most importantly, you need to take your opportunities when they fall your way. When they come your way, you use them.
Well, his post-match presser would be something surely to look forward to. Benin George. Hooper. Wide receiver is Obot. That's a decent-looking ball. It's headed away by Akobundu. Long clearance forward. Imade is waiting. Gets on to the end of it. Togunye is chasing, but in futility. As the ever-present Adeleke was there to pick up the pieces. As Pascalese pointing forward. A bit of urgency in Enyimba's play at the moment. Back from whence it came. Conversations in and around the Enyimba dugouts as they are looking to find a way to get ahead on the pitch. Philip Ozo seems very much in a hurry as the referee is having a glance at his watch. They're indicating 4 minutes if symbolism on his hand is anything to go by. Yes, indeed, 4 minutes of added time. Philip Ozo surely would go long with the throw. And it comes, it's met with by the centre half in yellow. Obot, it's going to be a corner kick. Enyimba knocking on the door, looking to bang it down once again. It's Ambrose with the defensive maneuver, and Bendel Insurance keep at it with the habits of repelling everything being thrown at them. Can they keep this one out? Oh! At the back post is Pascalese. Had the application quite alright, but not the direction needed to guide it past Amaso Basoge, who looked to be stuck in no man's land. And the referee is straddling over to have a word. And down on the turf is...
And now we're seeing so many opportunities go, and you begin to ask yourself, where were these opportunities earlier? But what about earlier into the box? And then Pascalese met it, and he's saying it's actually a corner kick now because it came off the head. It came off the head of the defender. Head of Imade, actually. Imade was back doing the defensive duties.
Clearly, he was awarded as a goal kick. Basoge, beg your pardon, had quickly effected that. It's knocked off, and it's taken his time before taking the throw, of course. Julius, the left fullback, Monde Odigi, asking for the structure to be kept. 3 minutes of the 4 added has been played. Will there be another twist to this very interesting tale at the Enyimba International Stadium? John Noble palms it away. Well, it's lashed onto by Osarenhoe. John Noble again, perhaps unaware that his base was clear. Miscommunication between himself and Adeleke. Another throwing for the Benin Arsenal.
John Noble needs to do better in understanding his environment, right? He didn't get to understand his environment, and then he took extra time. I was wondering what he's doing down there. And then here it was an opportunity for him to just grab the ball and restart the game. Not theatrics and, you know, punching the ball away. Just some simple basics that Enyimba really haven't done quite well in this game.
Well, we're the dying embers of the game. Perhaps a matter of seconds. All eyes on the referee now. It's been a huge matchup between two sides that you'd expect to be very much there in the conversations come the business end of the season. But how will this end? Another twist to the tail, perhaps out of time to witness that, but we will see how it goes. Referee is, of course, at liberty to extend play for as much as he deems fit. The 4 minutes, it's as per minimum time. Sarenhoe. A couple of deft touches. And the George is looking on. My guess is that perhaps he would be looking at this as 2 points lost, especially with the shout for a penalty very early on.
Indeed. He has some bones to settle, you know, with the referee.
Here's Akuneto looking to have the final say. Enyimba. It's a hit that is well blocked. Akuneto once again. And here is Cooper. Now Pascalese. Now Albert. Very attacking minded. That's a decent cross. It's headed away by Ambrose. Pascalese again. On the turn. Finds Cooper. Now Eze goes past his marker. Eze. Oh, that falls kindly for Amas Obasoge. Maybe just.
That's it.
Maybe just.
Maybe.
This would be it. Basajeri, the substitute goalkeeper, walking past, perhaps anticipating that this may be the last piece of action, and yes, indeed it is. Referee calls time to what has been an enthralling fixture. And for the longest time, it looked as though Enyimba were well on their way to a victory and well on their way to thwarting Bendel Insurance, who have so far and still remain on an unbeaten run in the 2023 edition of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Basoge is getting the warm embrace, and deservedly so. The Abba fans walking away feeling that perhaps the 2 points have been lost, as opposed to one being earned against a team that has so far been high-flying. The referee surely would have some grouse come his way, especially from the Enyimba side, but Bendel Insurance don't care, and Imadio Sarenhoe doesn't as well.
Indeed.
You could see the celebrations, and once again they go down on their knees to offer thanks to the supernatural.
But not the Enyimba team going in huddle, because they know they've thrown away what would have been a very big part of this game. It's unfortunate to see, because when they resumed that second half, I kept mentioning it, it's important they go for the next goal. But they sat back, they were waiting. They wanted to keep it, not to be.
Well, perhaps a fair result could be argued to be the case, and in the end, it ends Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 1.
That was when John Noble thought he was at the right, but this right there is the goal. One of the goals, one of the best free kicks I've seen this season. He absolutely let it fly. He ripped it apart. They don't call him Black Bullet for nothing. He packs a punch in his right foot, and that right there, you can see why John Noble is absolutely pissed off. The ball is not meant to go through a wall. It's meant to be a brick wall and push it right out. But the ball went right through. Look at it. Ooh. Look at it. The wall is meant to stay together, you know, and then the fact that that shot just went right through, that just tells a whole lot about the defensive formation of this team. But I think it's a fair result, judging by what we've seen. And of course, at the end of the game, we saw Enyimba throwing everything, including the kitchen sink. Good defending. The Bendel Insurance were very resolute. They were very solid at the back line. Imo Obot was throwing everything right there. Akuneto, a little bit of enterprise here and there, but not just enough, because at some point in the game you expected their big boys to come to the party. It's just unfortunate that Enyimba threw this particular game away, because this was a 3-point game, set and match, and that right there is the biggest highlight. That's a penalty. Really? You cannot tell me nothing else. It's a penalty. I mean, if any judge has every right to be angry, because the players, The hand was never in his natural position, and he was out. Intelligent boy was holding his face, but the ball never touched his face. He raised his hand for what will be a penalty that was not taken. This is a penalty.
No, Jide, you have to talk about the fact that we know for sure because we're able to have a second look.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of criticism might go the way of the referee, but to think that he only has one look,
yeah,
and is expected to make an instant decision, perhaps the benefit of the doubt could be extended to him.
Possibly, but the challenge right there was that the referee was in a good position in that particular penalty. He saw it right clear. Maybe he chose not to, or maybe he felt he hit the guy's face, maybe not the hand. That's left to see. But this was another call that could have been a corner kick because it was. That's why Pascal went to get the ball for urgency, and then he was wondering, oh wow, it's a corner kick. That right there was another decision, that really went begging for Enyimba. Enyimba possibly, could have won this game earlier, but they came into the second half and then they were lethargic. They got a little bit tired, or they just felt, oh, we got this in the bag. Unfortunately not to be. This is a brilliant game, and it was huge one for Enyimba loss. But Bendel Insurance continue this amazing run.
Two of the top shots for the top scorer gong this season, cancelling each other out. Emeka Obioma from the penalty spot in the first half, and Imade Osarenhoe with a bullet of a free kick past the Enyimba wall, having the beating of John Noble in goal. He didn't know what hit him.